You are listening to Comedy Club for Kids presents Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense, Radio Nonsense. Hello and welcome to Radio Nonsense, the official Comedy Club for Kids podcast for all ages from... to... and everything in between. I'm Tiernan, and this week, listeners, is a mailbag week because there's lots and lots of things in our mailbag or post bag, or no, post bag means it used to be a bag and now it's a hat or so. Anyway, it's a mailbag, and all the things in it have to be read out. That is, I think, the rule. Is there a rule? Hang on, let me check my rule book, because there is a rule book for Comedy Club for Kids HQ, and it's very important. Everything we do has to follow this rule book. So let me just see. Yep. All hats must be worn on heads, apart from kneecaps, which have to be worn on knees. Yep, I am doing that, and my knees are very warm. Before leaving the Comedy Club for Kids HQ, turn off all lights, stop all fights, and put away all kites. Yep, done that. And be sure to unplug any plugs, bugs, or thugs. Oh no, I left that thug plugged in all weekend. No wonder he was so angry and said he was going to get me. Ugh, silly me. What else is in here? Keep all stinky hippos in the fridge at all times. Yep. And then keep all food and refreshments in the bath. Yep, I do that. And then always have baths in the drawer just under the telly. Oh, how can I fit in there? It's full of wires and batteries, odd keys, and there's a puffin called Nigel who just looks very cosy. Oh, I'm going to have to politely tell him to leave, aren't I? That is sad. Maybe Nigel could sleep in the bread bin instead. Ah, no, wait, next rule. Do not let birds sleep in the bread bin. Oh, well, and here we go. Yes, always read everything in the mailbag, and it's got everything written in all caps, so I think that means, like, everything in the mailbag. Linda, do I have to read absolutely everything in the mailbag? Linda. Where is Linda? Who is Linda? Maybe she sent me a message. It could be in the mailbag. No. Nothing from Linda, but I do have these two lovely reviews, and I know you're thinking, listeners, but reviews are posted up on Apple Podcasts or other websites. How do they end up in the mailbag? And how do emails get in there when they're on a computer or a phone or a tablet screen or sort of scrawled on the side of a squirrel? Well, yes, look, I've explained it before, actually, but it is just how things work here. That if you do any of those methods of communication to this show, an armadillo called Douglas takes whatever he's reading the message on and squishes it into an envelope. Not the squirrel, actually. The squirrel got away before he could do that. But we get through about 500 iPads, 3,200 phones, and about 900 odd computers a week. It is a terrible waste. It's actually really awful. But you see, it says in the rule book, you must let Douglas squish everything he reads correspondence on and then pop it in an envelope. So there you go. So here we go. First up, thanks to Hackerite from the United Kingdom. I'm not sure which bit of the United Kingdom. It could just be the sea between Southampton and the Isle of Wight, or it could be the sea between Liverpool and Belfast. I don't know where you are, but I hope it's not too cold and you're not being too bothered by mackerel, because they really do bother people. They're very annoying. Anyway, Hackerite has put, toot, new update, I like cheese. Well, thank you for that, Hackerite. I hope I haven't forgotten, but I don't think I had an old update from you. So I think this is just the first update. Did you not used to like cheese? Is this something that's just occurred to you after, I don't know, cheese accidentally raining on your head after a cheese storm? Or perhaps you tripped and fell face first into cheese and realised, this is lovely. And why did you fart before giving an update? Oh, wow, wait. Maybe that's what farts are for. Like our own human message notification. Like, toot, you got a message. Text. Wow, I never thought of that before. Amazing, Hackerite. And I'm so glad you like cheese, as it means you can specifically ask people called Louise for cheese, please, which is, as you know, very important. Then there is this review from Sinead, which may be the listener that's posting, or it could be their tired caterwauling grouches account. Sorry, grown up. But either way, Sinead or not Sinead have kindly put, best postcast ever obviously in front of my eyes. I am futuristic. Whoa. You are so futuristic. You can see you've put postcast. So are you listening to this show when it's no longer a podcast and it used to be a cast, a bit like the post bag, or maybe you're listening to a podcast of this that's about the post we get on this, like this episode. Maybe this is the postcast and you're listening to this in the future. Wow, look, this is amazing. And anyway, I want to know what it looks like. What does this show look like? Tell me. I'm very pleased you can see it in the future, and I really hope you can't smell it as well, as that would be absolutely terrible for you. Oh, I wish I was futuristic. I bet you've got really cool glasses that helps you see podcasts and postcasts, and maybe special futuristic boots that make sure you don't step in dog poop, and a robot who eats all the foods you don't like for you. Oh, that'd be amazing. Well, thank you for listening in the future, Sinead or not Sinead. Next in the mailbag is this brilliant joke from Anonymous, who was 9 farting gorillas old when they sent this, but has now turned 10 farting gorillas old. So very happy Farting Gorillas Day to you. Do you get a new farting gorilla every year? Must be very tricky working out where to keep them all, so I hope you've got a good Tupperware box or sock drawer to fit the new one in. Anyway, Anonymous has sent this incredible joke with the instruction, please use this joke. So, well, I will. If you wait for the waiter, aren't you the waiter? Oh my gosh! Yes, very good point. Who is the bigger waiter? The waiter or the person who waits for the waiter? Can you say to a waiter, I think you'll find I've been the one waiting. Can you pay me the bill, please, and a tip? Thank you. That was very funny. Thank you, Anonymous. Right, and then... Ah, yes. Now, this is a big and important letter that I will just read you all in full. Hi, my name is Monty, and you are incredibly good at making podcasts. I want to be a podcaster too. Ah, thanks, Monty, and you should be. Give it a go. He continues. Luckily, I got my exhausted Dough Grump's iPad to do this on. I would like to tell you a story on how a rubber lizard messed something up. I had a broken leg, and to cheer me up, I got a plastic lizard. Within about a few hours, the lizard had been thrown around my garden whilst I was lumbering after it. My broken leg started to go outwards and didn't heal properly, so I have to get it rebroken soon. Oh, that sounds nasty. And I hope it's feeling all okay now. And then Monty's put, and get this, after being trapped at the bottom of the water butt, is the water butt like the sea's bottom? No, that's the bottom of the sea, isn't it? Anyway, but after being trapped at the bottom of the water butt for 3 years, he wanted revenge on me. Oh, then we had the epicest anime showdown you have ever laid your elbows on. I finally won when I farted him into the sun and got back just in time to listen to the latest radio nonsense and read the latest Spider-Man comic, Spider-Man vs. Kindred. It was cool. The end. By the way, I am 10. Wow. Thanks, Monty, for your incredible email that has been very squished by Douglas, but it's still no less incredible. I do hope your broken leg is now all fixed after 3 years, and no rubber lizards have ever dared to mess with you ever again after seeing that you farted the last one into the sun, which I think is the most incredible power move to do at the end there. I think that's a big lesson for everyone listening who might think rubber lizards are all nice, just sitting there not being real lizards, but actually they are highly dangerous, and they could end up in you having some epicest anime showdowns that you have to all put your elbows on and then fart them into the sun, which is going to be tricky if you need to use your farts to say that there's been a message. People think you've got the biggest message on earth to tell them. It's all very complicated. Anyway, an absolutely amazing story to receive. Thank you so much, Monty. And if the rest of you want to send in anything at all, whether it's stories, jokes, or very importantly, questions for this show, then do get your tired caterwauling grouches, grown-ups, to help you email us on podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. Though if you want to review us, you have to do that on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, one of those podcast sites, or you can whisper it to the Podgoblin on the 12th of Jultember at 4:94 p.m. It's actually best just to go to the podcast sites, to be honest, because the Podgoblin always picks his nose, and it's disgusting. Also, do check out our live shows, which we do all over the UK, and you can find them at comedyclub4kids.co.uk, and you can grab our t-shirts and book from comedyclubforkids.store. Oh, there's still some things in here. Hang on. It's the most importantest bit. Get listening to this.
You've got mail.
Returning to Radio Nonsense, I'm very excited. We have got the excellent Sooz Kempner, a.k.a. You Sooz You Canoes, Grand Duke Soozly Kempsonian of the Royal Creperie, or as our Creo-speaking listeners will of course know you, Usa You Get Dem Amazing Need Dem. But of course, Sooz, you are most well known for your hit single that you performed entirely upside down at Madison Square Gardens called Why Are You All Standing on Your Heads? No, you are though, for your famed recipe book that shows 408 different ways to cook with a basket on your head, and for your revolutionary lifestyle manifesto, Do What You Like, I'm Not Your Dad. Sooz, it is a pleasure to have you back on the show. How are you?
Thanks so much for having me. Gosh, having all those things that I've done recently laid out like that has shown me how busy I am, and maybe I should take a small break.
Have you not taken a break in a long time?
No. When the single really kicked off, I had to obviously spend a lot of time working out a way to keep the basket on my head because I was upside down so much when I was performing the single. And I can reveal to the listeners now that the way I kept the basket on my head was by training ants.
Wow. So there were ants holding the basket on your head. How were they doing it? Were they on top of your head and clasping the basket, or were they?
They were inside the basket in my hair. They're very strong. Did you know that? Ants have 7 times the strength of a human. It's all relative. Right. They're very small, but I just used 1,000 ants.
Right, so when you say 7 times the strength of a human, but only if we were really small, they couldn't just sort of pick up a car.
No, I'm still stronger than an ant.
Right.
But you get 1,000 of them, they will hold a basket on your head. Train them right.
Yeah. I always just sort of feel like because ants are strong, but also like you can totally flick one and then they go, yeah. I mean,
absolutely,
flick one, but
it's something that I used to do, but since working with them, I wouldn't do it now. I wouldn't flick an ant now.
Yeah, because I mean, then you flick the wrong ant, and then the basket doesn't stay on, and then
absolutely,
you're in all sorts of trouble.
And then I've made a fool of myself while performing my hit single.
Yes, well, exactly. I've got more questions about that, but I just have to ask about the ants because you've trained them. Do you employ them? Do you have to sort of? Because I guess I don't know what you'd pay ants, how that would work.
Oh, it's pretty great. Their currency is not human being money that we would spend. They prefer little droplets of sugar water, and as a human, I can afford loads of that.
Yeah, that's really good. Would you consider? Do you get them to just do the basket job, or have you got them on a variety of tasks in and around the home?
A few of them have got me. They keep my appointment diary. So basically, if you get your hands on about 2,000 ants, you can use 1,000 for keeping a basket on your head. The other 1,000 can, some of them keep my appointments. Some of them alert me if my phone's ringing, but I'm in another room, so maybe I can't hear it.
So
they come
useful.
and get me. Yeah, they're great guys.
Useful. That's really good. And are they a particular type of ant? Because I know there's fire ants, which are probably not great for this sort
they
of. They are
very difficult to work with. Yes. Particularly they're very creative, but they're not so great at admin and basket holding.
Yes, yeah, I can imagine that. And also, I guess you've got to have the worker ants rather than the queen ants, because then I guess.
I can't have divas. I can't have divas. This is important work. There's only room for one diva in my business, and it's me.
Of course. That totally makes sense. Well, I mean, it's amazing, and it's amazing. I like that you incorporated the cooking with the basket on your head with the song at the same time, and the basket on your head just seemed to stay on. I mean, we barely saw your face for a good couple of years.
That's ants.
Wow.
That's ants for you.
Ants. Yeah. That is all ants. And did you feel... Because I think one of the remarkable things about your singing standing on your head was, some people when they stand their head, and a lot of our listeners probably do stand on their head, I assume, at least 3 or 4 times a week.
Good for them.
Yeah, I can't do it. I don't want to sort of embarrass myself. I can't stand on my head.
Okay.
And I saw that look you gave me, and
it's a bit embarrassing, I guess, but the listeners and I will agree. But hey, look, you'll get there.
I think my head might be too small, and I think that when I try and balance on it, I just sort of
topple.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, look, all I'm going to say to you is, it's wrong to give up on a dream, and so I don't think you should. I don't think a small head should hold you back from standing on it one day.
Wow. Are there tips? Should I be looking to enlarge my head, or are there sort of things that I could wear? Like, would a basket help?
The basket would help if you can get your hands on 1,000 ants. Obviously, you'll be able to keep that basket on your head and stand much more easily on it, and then you will be able to stay up for the whole 3 minutes 36 seconds that my hit single lasted.
Wow. Well, I mean, and obviously I don't want to. That's your thing. I wouldn't want to. I'd find something else to do. I mean, to be honest, I quite like to just eat a sandwich while standing on my head. I think.
Yeah, and I reckon I could do that in under 3.5 minutes. So, hey, maybe you only need to learn to stay up there with a basket for 2 minutes.
Wow, that sounds great to me. I need to advertise for some ants. I haven't thought about this before.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have to go through a news agent? Is that how you do it?
If you put up a little card saying, "Hi, looking for about 1,000 ants," brackets, basket, they'll know what you mean. Just put it up in it. Yeah, ask if you can have it up in any shop window. They'll know what you mean.
Quite low down in the window, I guess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Although ants climb.
Oh yeah, of course they do. See, this is how little I know about this. I've never really got. I was speaking to an expert like yourself. You know all of this.
Mm-hmm.
This is fascinating for me, and I can see it being really helpful. So I appreciate it. But I am worried. You said you haven't had a break in a long time. You need a bit of a breather.
Yeah.
And...
Very busy. It's nice to be able to relax and just chat to you and your lovely listeners. I've given the ants the morning off.
Oh, that's great. But, I mean, it doesn't look like you're. Are you cycling while we're talking? There's something going on while we're talking. You don't look like you're relaxing.
Oh, it's a unicycle.
Right, unicycle.
It's a
right, that's what I
unicycle.
thought.
Yeah. It's really good exercise. It's important to find an exercise you enjoy. Some people like swimming. Some people like to play football. I love my unicycle.
It's very impressive, and you're maintaining it. I think listeners probably wouldn't be able to tell. There's no noise. You're very calm while you do it.
Yes, yeah.
But a lot of people say it's quite tricky.
It is difficult. It's harder than riding a bike, which has two wheels. The unicycle is just the one wheel, as you know. But as you can see, I don't have to travel with it. I can just stay in place with my headset microphone on.
Yes.
No ants required to hold it in place because there's a head strap, and we're away.
It's really good. I think that has been a criticism of unicycle. It's quite tricky to balance, but actually you're right. You don't have to go any. If anything, it's more relaxing than other wheeled vehicles because you just sort of stay where you are. You don't have to go.
People say they like to cycle because they can watch the world go by as they travel. I like the unicycle because the world stops while I stay in place upon it.
Would you go on a unicycle? Because people do like bicycling. Biking holiday. What do you say? Cycling
holiday.
Cycling. That's it. Yeah. So can you do a unicycle? I guess you wouldn't go anywhere on a unicycle.
Yeah, no, you can do a unicycle holiday. I'm on one right now.
Oh right. All right. Wow.
Yeah, because you don't go anywhere. So here I am on my unicycle holiday. Yeah.
Oh, I appreciate that you've allowed us to have a chat during your holiday. I don't
please,
want to interrupt it. Yeah.
Taking a small break on one wheel. That's the title of my next single. I can.
Is it right?
I can tell you. Yeah.
Wow, that's an exclusive for the listeners right there. And are you going to be singing? Oh, that's going to be tricky because we're about taking a break, but you're going to have to like do shows to sing it.
Yeah, I mean it's work, but the idea of it is people will watch me doing my hit single upon one wheel, taking a break upon one wheel. It's got a couple of titles, and they will relax even if I'm working.
Yeah.
Because it's not about me; it's about my fans.
Wow, that's such dedication. I really admire that, and that you can put that work in even when you're on holiday, and then even when you're on holiday while working and working. Being on holiday.
I co-wrote the single with some fire ants.
Did you? Right,
because they're so creative.
They're good at that bit. They're good at the.
Oh yeah.
Right.
They're excellent. Bounce ideas off them, and they don't hold back telling you if they like the ideas or not.
Right.
I don't want to surround myself with yes ants.
Yeah, no. Who wants yes ants? Yeah, or sycophants, is that what they're called?
Sycophants.
Yes, that's it.
Yeah.
No one wants them. So yeah, but fire. Wow, it's good to know that they've all, because I know we live in a complicated ecosystem, and each animal has their part to play. And I did just part of me did just think, are fire ants just there for when you're cold? Or just to be annoying. I don't know. But
big ideas. Don't. At the end of a working day, here's what I'll say about fire ants. At the end of a working day, make sure they're not in your bed, because you'll know about it when in the morning when your legs are all covered in fire ant bites. You probably know about it as it happens.
Yeah, I suppose it's the sort of thing they got. I think a lot of people don't realise the kind of stuff you have to do to get creative thoughts. Mm-hmm. The kind of you need to procrastinate. You need to find, and I'm guessing for fire ants, they like you go on a unicycle. They bite people's legs.
Yes,
it gives them story ideas. Gives them, things to write about.
Yeah, and it's worth it. It pays off.
Yeah,
the results speak for themselves. I'm about to have another hit single. Thank you to the fire ants, and those will be in the liner notes of the single.
Yeah.
I'll be saying thank you to the fire ants.
Yeah. Do you have to say it in ant language, or they just sort of get that?
They do speak English, which is nice because I haven't learnt the ant language, but I haven't needed to because part of their job is they speak my language.
Wow. Well, I mean, let's see. What can I say? We've learnt so much already on. You know, I've got a big question that I need to ask you because I think you're the expert to answer it. But I feel like already we've had an education, and there are probably a lot of listeners out there that are just thinking, I want to become a famous upside down singer.
Yes.
Recipe writer, book writer. You know, how do I do it? And I feel like I've never heard the tip on live TV of get some ants to hold a basket on your head, and I feel like that's invaluable information that they can all take away and learn from.
It's a showbiz secret people don't want you to know. But if I can leave the listeners with any tip, it's going to be get yourself 1,000 ants.
It's really good. It is really good because I've heard rumours before about Mariah Carey, I believe, has about 800 bees.
She went the bee route.
Yeah.
She's got 800 bees. Taylor Swift has got 10,000 ants.
Wow. I suppose she can afford, she probably started small, and as she's got more famous, I guess.
She has litres of sugar water on hand at all times. They're very well paid. Her ants are very well paid.
Wow. Am I right in, I mean, I suppose you can't give away too much. BTS, I believe, have dung beetles, don't they? I believe they have an army of dung beetles.
Right, so BTS have dung beetles rather than ants because, did you know this? Ants are not allowed on an aeroplane, but dung beetles are. And BTS fly a lot as part of their job.
Wow.
That's why.
Wow, ants aren't allowed on an aeroplane?
No, they have a habit of getting in all the little cracks of the aeroplane, and then what happens next doesn't bear thinking about. Dung beetles, on the other hand, they just relax on a plane. They put on the headphones. They watch the in-flight movies. They love it.
Yeah, stay near the loos, probably. I'd thought.
Oh yeah. Absolute heaven for a dung beetle.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Wow. Well, look. I mean, as I said, this is a fascinating insight into the world of famous artists and their insect co-workers, collaborators, which we just didn't know before. But I do have some. We've got an important question. But before we get there, I'm afraid, Sooz, I do have some admin. I hope that's okay.
Okay.
I've got a couple of admin questions that I need to ask you for the sake of the show. The first of these. You've actually done this before, last time you guested on the show, but I'm going to ask you for another one if possible. But this is an audio podcast. I don't know if you know this.
I do.
But all our listeners, they listen with their ears. Some might listen with their bums, their knees. We don't discriminate however they want to do it. It's fine.
Yeah.
And I just wondered if you've got a favourite noise that you could tell us about or preferably even make.
Oh, I really like this noise. Have you ever heard this?
No, well, that's an amazing noise. What is it? It sounds like a very small car.
You'll often hear it outside your living room window. I call it the sound of the old man who drives a Land Rover Freelander who can't always get it in gear.
Wow, that's a very specific noise, but it's a great noise because I now that you've told me what it is, I know exactly that noise, and at the same time, it could also be a very small car.
Yes, that too. Well, the Freelander's not a huge car. It's also a very, very old one that's probably seen better days. So I'm not going to blame the old man entirely for not being able to get his Freelander in gear. But
it's good. It's sort of you can sense the trying. You can sense the frustration.
Yeah,
it wants to go. It can't go.
It's a lesson to us all, though. Eventually, it does go.
Yeah, and that's another really empowering. With that noise, listeners are thinking, "I'm stuck. I don't know what to do." You'll get there.
Don't worry, you'll get there, even if you're not in gear. Yeah. Get yourself some ants. They'll put your car in gear.
That's beautiful. And can I ask why that's your? What is it that does for you? That noise is it because you know that he's going to eventually drive away, or is it? Yeah. Do you like the sound?
It's inspirational because I know that even though, the universe is conspiring against him by not putting his car in gear, he will eventually get it in gear and drive away.
Well, okay, I'm pleased for him. I'm gonna.
We all are.
Well done, old man. Well done. That's nice. That's really nice. Wow. Well, thank you, Sooz. That's a fantastic noise. We haven't had anything like that on the podcast before. It's very exciting.
Great.
The other bit of admin I do have to ask you is, I'm not sure if you're aware, but this is a family-friendly podcast.
Yes.
It's suitable for people of every age you could possibly imagine. Can you imagine an age?
40.
Yes, totally. Totally fine for 40, fine for all ages, not 100, long story, but every other age, absolutely
Okay,
fine for.
sure.
And just because of that, I've got to make sure if there are any rude words, you won't be saying.
Oh, yes, sure. I definitely won't be saying blurp it.
Oh, wow, thank you. Please
Sorry,
don't say
sorry,
blurp it.
sensitive ears out there can rest easy because I will not be
It's a
saying blurp
particularly
it.
horrible, blurp it is a very horrible word.
Yeah.
I want to check, I'm not up on this. Blurpits, that's not as bad, I believe. If there's more than
Blurpits
one.
isn't as bad because it gives the sense that the blur pit is very small, and there are a few of them, but they're tiny.
Yes. Whereas a singular blurpit.
A blur pit it's awful, and I already think we've said it too many times.
Yeah, I mean, definitely won't be. You won't be saying it, and I appreciate that. And I won't be saying it
No.
on the show. I definitely won't say blur pit, and I appreciate that you won't say blur pit.
Not one
for the
blur
safety
pit.
of our listeners.
No.
So thank you very much. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
Right. Well, look, listen. We've had this question sent in, and this question is from Jenny, and Jenny's given no other details. She is just simply Jenny. I
Just
don't know where
Jenny.
she is. I don't know how old she is. I don't know what she's up to. She's just the one and only Jenny, I believe.
Yeah.
So you might well know her. I don't know. We've got a Jenny on our street. It could be her. I don't know.
Oh, maybe.
sure.
Yeah. Maybe it's my friend Jenny.
It could be. Maybe that's why she sent it in, knowing you would answer this, and you're the person that would know.
Maybe. Wow, this is profound. Well,
Yeah,
if it's
it
Jenny
is.
Smith from St Ives in Cornwall,
Wow.
who was at Bournemouth University with me, hi, and I hope I can answer this question.
Well, it could well be. Who's to say? I mean, Jenny's to say, but she hasn't
Yeah.
said, so we
No,
just don't
not yet.
know.
Yeah,
Wow.
that's it.
Well, I'm going to give you the question, and maybe you could say as if this is the sort of question that Jenny Smith from St Ives would ask.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know her as a friend.
Yeah.
This Jenny, whoever she is, has asked. It's quite big. Do cows hate motorbikers because of all the leather gear they wear?
Oh, what a great question. Okay. I've immediately come to a conclusion on this. They hate motorbikers not because of all the leather gear they wear. It is just the noise, because I've seen a cow absolutely lose their mind at the sight of someone in all vegan leathers. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Synthetic, completely synthetic, head to toe they were, and the cow still went, I can't be doing with this, so it must just be the noise.
Wow. So it's not at all to do with the fact that they're like the cows looking at him going, are you wearing my dad's face or whatever? It's not.
No, I don't think they think as deeply as that.
Right. It's just that
Yeah,
they
you'd
don't
never
like-
hire a cow for admin.
No. No, that would. Yeah, I'm just thinking about that. That'd be awful. That'd be a really
Yeah,
awful
they'd be
situation.
bad at your appointments would be all over the shop. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I could tell. They're not very organised. Cows. They're not very proactive. I find.
No. Even
Yeah.
though their milk can contain Activia.
Yeah. It's odd that, isn't it? It
Yeah.
contains all those yogurts and cheeses.
Yeah.
But they just eat grass. No, I think that's it, isn't it? Do they? Do cows eat anything else? It's
Yeah,
just pretty
like
much just
cow
grass.
nuggets.
Cow nuggets.
Seen
What's
those
it?
little cow nuggets? They eat those as well.
Do they? Right. Well,
Yeah.
Because
But they put them in the shape of grass.
Wow. Cow nuggets.
Yeah.
But those are so those aren't made from cows. Because chicken nuggets are made from chickens, but cow nuggets. So yeah. What check that cow? So like gold nuggets are made of gold. Chicken nuggets are made of chicken. Cow nuggets, are they made of cow? It's fried. But then why call it cow? Because they're for cows. Hang on, a chicken nugget's for chickens.
Chicken nuggets are for humans. It is a confusing
It's
is a
very-
confusing
this whole
way of
nugget
doing it.
naming thing is not helpful
Yeah,
for
yeah.
anyone. There
Yeah.
needs to be a better system, you know?
There is, the ants have said this.
Yeah.
They said the system is confusing. No wonder humans are always baffled. No wonder cows are always running around going, ah.
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's probably because they must be thinking, "Am I eating cows?" But I am a cow.
Yeah.
But it tastes like grass. Hang on, do we taste like grass? Should I eat my friend? Will they taste like grass?
That is the trauma of living as a cow.
That's really because I thought I don't know if you're a fan of laughing cow cheese, but you see that picture of a laughing cow.
Yeah.
It looks like it's having a great time.
I know. I've always wondered what's she laughing at. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
Must be something
Yeah.
good. Maybe it's this podcast.
Maybe it is. Maybe that's wow. Maybe it is, but then might not laugh at this one because of all the truth about cows.
Yeah, that's it. Well,
And I
this has
worry
been a very
we've ruined it
serious
for her.
podcast, and
It's
yeah,
deadly serious. Actually.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
Um,
If I was a laughing cow, I would only put this particular episode of this podcast on if I wanted to get serious.
yeah, and then you'd have a whole different cheese. I think.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah.
Right.
It's true.
Yeah. It is very true. Well, I wanted to, if we just circle back to the, you know that cows don't like bikers, just because they are. I guess there must be something about them. Do you think it's the noise of the bikes? Do you think it's the fact that they just think, who are these guys on their bikes? What
It's the noise of the
losers?
bikes, and it's the fact that they go far too quickly. Cows like a more sedate pace. We know this. The only time they move fast is when they see a motorcyclist nearby, and that's the sad fact. They just think that the world should be enjoyed at a slower pace.
Wow. So do they also hate cheaters?
Oh,
And
don't even get them started.
yeah.
Speed
Trying to
and
think what else
noise.
is fast? What else? What other fast things are there?
Spiders.
Spiders. Yeah.
Speed, they move.
Kids on scooters.
Oh, faster than anything you've ever seen in your life.
Yes.
Cows hate this.
Yeah, I bet they do. So they
Yeah.
just but big fans of tortoises.
They love a tortoise.
Right.
They love a tortoise. They love my car,
Yeah. Is
which
it
is
really
very slow. Very slow indeed. You're not going to get much out of that. And they love me first thing in the morning, moving very slowly indeed.
Wow, that's nice of you to do that for them.
Yeah. I like to give back,
I think that's very kind. Do they like the old man in his Freelander? Because I guess he's quite slow. They're like big fans of that.
Yeah, they love it when it's not going into gear. They don't love it when he drives away because he does build up some speed.
So he really builds them up, lets them down.
Yes, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a shame that he can be so inspirational for us and so demotivational for cows.
That's it. But, they're a different species. They've got a different frame of reference to us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cows are really complicated. And I don't think I knew that.
More than you'd think. Yeah, it's true.
Very complicated. So would you suggest, should motorbikers just keep away from... I do wonder, did bikers start wearing leather gear as a kind of, well, cows don't like us, we're going to get our own back?
Yeah, it was initially retaliation.
Right.
Yes, they initially, all they wanted to do was get one over on the cows. But the joke's on them, because have you ever seen them in the summer? Oh, they're too hot, motorbikers.
Too hot, yeah. Way
So,
too hot. Cows
they've made
revenge.
themselves too hot just to annoy some cows.
It's pathetic, isn't it? Why would you annoy cows? What's the point? What's the point?
Very petty.
It's very petty. It's really, come on, bikers, sort it
You
out.
know, they're just trying to enjoy their grass and indeed their nuggets.
Yeah. Do you think we should we be banning motorbikers from near cow? What's the solution to this? Should all motorbikers switch to unicycles like yourself?
It's a campaign that I've got going at the moment. Yeah, I'm encouraging all motorcyclists to switch to the unicycle. Sure, they won't get they won't get to their destination fast. In fact, they won't get anywhere at all.
Yeah,
They'll stay exactly where they are. However, they won't be upsetting cows.
That seems like a win-win to me, because I don't know where bikers go anyway. I don't know where they're going. They probably don't know.
They don't know.
Why am I here? What was the point of that?
Yeah. Well, they got there too fast.
Yeah.
So they arrive and go, whoa, hang on, what? Like that.
Yeah, I'm not meant to be here till next Tuesday. This is what I'm meant to do now.
Exactly.
Got to walk around and eat chips. This is rubbish. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That's why motorbikers always look annoyed.
Yeah. They do. That and the heat, probably just being too warm.
They're too hot and they don't know why they're there.
Yeah. I'm really. It's funny. Before having this chat with you, I wouldn't necessarily say I was against cows. I'm all like, I've got nothing against them. I wasn't necessarily for cows. Just sort of like they're there. They're cows. They just kind of they're there.
Sure.
But now after this chat, I'm definitely pro cows. Kind of anti bikers.
Yeah, this is. Do you know my campaign to raise awareness of this issue is working, and it's working in the way cows like best. Slowly.
That's great. That's wonderful.
Yeah.
And just hang on. So this is your campaign. It wasn't your friend Jenny that said it. Did you set this up?
Okay. Yes, I did. Yeah, I did. I set it up. This is Jenny from St Ives, who I was at Bournemouth University with. Jenny Smith. Thank you very much for writing in.
That is
your tenors in the post.
Wow. I mean, I applaud this. This is. I didn't see that coming. It's very clever and somehow you've managed to fit that in amongst all your other things.
Yeah. Well, I'm busy. I'm doing 20-hour days, you know.
Well, listen, Susan, thank you for answering that very important question, even if you did set it up in the first place. Thank you for having time in between, the upside down singing in the basket, wearing the having a holiday on your unicycle. Have you got a relaxing rest of the day? Just gonna hang out with the ants. Nice.
Yeah.
A non-work day. They're on holiday too.
Yeah, we're all gonna just knock back a bit of sugar water and watch the telly.
Oh, that's nice. What's an ant's favourite repair? Are they into repair shop? What's you?
Ants do love repair shop. They love a home in the country because ultimately they hope to buy a home in the country after long enough working for me. I have explained to them you can't buy a home anywhere in the country or otherwise with sugar water, but they stick to their dreams, and that's inspirational.
Well, as you said to me, you got to chase your dream, haven't you? You got to, and I respect that. Good luck to those ants.
Agree. Yeah.
Well, thank you, loads, Suze. Great to see you again, and
good
luck with all of the many things.
Ah, thanks.
I saw him once, but I lived behind him. It's the postman.
Thanks so much to Suze for having time to answer Jenny's question in between standing on her head and commanding her ant helpers, which sounds amazing. Jenny, I do hope you liked your answer, and if not, why not complain by putting a basket on your head and then mouthing the words of your concerns, and of course, no one will ever see them. Thanks. If you'd like to add to the Comedy Club for Kids HQ mailbag, or at least give Douglas more things to squish, then get your tired caterwauling grouches, grown-ups, to help you email us at podcast@comedyclub4kids.co.uk. And check out our live shows at comedyclub4kids.co.uk, as we've got loads and loads and loads coming up, some of which I'm doing too, so you might see me there. And our t-shirts and books are at comedyclub4kids.store. Now, what did the rulebook say? Always read everything in the mailbag. Right, well, I think that's all the mail, but is there other stuff in there? Let me have a little look. What's this? It's a big rock, and it says on it, "Do not read this." But I have to read everything in the mailbag, and all it says is "do not read this." So maybe I better not read this, but I have to read this saying "do not read this." This is very confusing. I wonder what would happen if I read the "do not read this" bit. Well, I guess I won't read it, so I'll never know. Tricky. What else is in there? A fish? How do I read the fish? Ah, yes, the instructions. And it says, always brush your hair, but hair is spelled like hair, like the big rabbits. And that's very odd. Anything else? No, I don't think so. Oh, wait, there's a label on the inside of the bag, and I guess I have to read absolutely everything. So let me see here. It says, wash in a muddy puddle, don't put over a tortoise, and made in a factory on Jupiter. Ah, very weird. And on the other side of the instruction label, it says, beware, all contents of the mailbag may be explosive once removed. Oh, that's funny. I've never seen that before. That's probably a joke, isn't it? I mean, I've tipped all this week's mail out all over the floor, and it just seems fine. Oh, no! Bye! You have been listening to Comedy Club for Kids Presents. nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense, radio nonsense. It's the end.